welcome to this week's episode of This Gingerbird Sews. So today I'm going to have a go at customising, adapting, reimagining, whatever kind of words you want to use for it. I'm going to try and customise this shirt. So this is a man's shirt I picked up in a charity shop for the bargain price of £1. And what I'm going to do to it today is I'm going to have a play around with it to make it look slightly different. So what I'm going to do is, I've already decided I'm going to crop it a little bit. So if I crop it and take the bottom edge off, it means I've got all this fabric to play around with. I'm going to keep the placket and I'm going to keep the collar. But then using this material from the bottom, I'm going to add a frill all around the front and hopefully do the same on the back. I'm also going to shorten the sleeves slightly, so they're more like 3/4 length sleeves, and I think that will be it. So hopefully by the end of this I'm hoping to have a cropped shirt with a slightly more cropped length, slightly cropped sleeve, and then a frill all around. A nice easy amendment to make, not too tricky and doesn't require too much sewing. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I've lay my shirt flat, and what I'm going to do is I've measured how long I want it, so I'm going to cut off the bottom to the length that I want it to be, and I'm also going to cut off the sleeves to the length that I want those to be. I've already put the shirt on and measured and marked where I want this to be. Obviously the length of this for you will depend on the length of your shirt and of course the length of your arms and your body. So once you've chopped off the bottom and the sleeves where you want them to be, you need to decide how big you want your ruffles to be. So the first thing I can do is I can get rid of those, put those to one side, I don't need them. I'm going to use this bottom bit to make my ruffles. So I've decided, based on how much fabric I have, I'm going to make my ruffles 9.5 centimetres deep. Now they'll probably be shorter than that because I'll need a bit of seam allowance, but I'm going to cut them 9.5 centimetres. So as you can see, I've cut out my two 9.5 centimetre widths ready to make my ruffles. This bit at the bottom I no longer need, and I also need to cut off the placket as well because I don't really need those. As neatly as I can, get rid of that. So now I've got my nice lengths ready to make the ruffles from them. Now the first thing I need to do with this is I need to finish the edge. So I'm going to roll it in and put a nice stitch along there so it's got a nice finish on the edge of my ruffle. And then once I've done that, so once I've done a nice running stitch to finish it off, I then just need to do a big running stitch along here to start my ruffle. So as you can see, I have got my two pieces and I finished them off nicely. If you can see here, I've just given them a nice finish. So I've just given them a nice sort of hem so they finish nice. And then I've just given a really wide stitch here so that all along here, and I've done the same to both so that I can pull them to make the frills. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the threads and I'm literally just going to pull. Some people like to do this with 2 bits of thread so there's less chance of breaking, but I'm just doing this with one just to be quick. So now I have my edge nice and finished and I've pulled through my threads, so I've got some nice even gathers amongst my frills. Now I'm ready to pin these where I need them onto my shirt. What I have realised as I'm pinning them is that I've got ends here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly take these to the machine and neaten up my ends. I also realised that this was still attached and obviously at the front it's got a placket. So I've just cut that in half. As I said, I'm going to neaten up these ends and then pin it back on. So I have now pinned on all of the frills on the front and on the back as well. They are all pinned on. As you can see, it's upside down so that when this sews on, I'll sew it on along here and the frill will then be this side. I'll press it down and then you won't be able to see the stitching. So I'm just going to sew that on now with the machine. While I'm there, I'm also going to rehem the bottom so that it's nice and neat. So I'm just going to do a fold and hem that there, and then I'm also going to hem my sleeves as well. So I've sewn everything on now with the machine. and pressed it. I've also finished off all of the edges and made sure they're nice and neat. I've tried on the shirt and I've decided that I think it will look better without a collar. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to chop off the collar and I'm going to hem it so that it's nice and neat, and then I should be done. So here we have the finished garment. As you can see, I have taken the top bit of the collar off, so it's got more of just almost a grandad collar look. 3/4 sleeves, it's also cropped, and I've popped the frill in around the front and around the back. I've just paired it with some nice high-waisted white trousers, but I think it would look nice with some high-waisted jeans, a skirt even if it's high-waisted or anything like that. So yeah, overall I'm really happy with it. Let me know what you think. So that is the end of this episode of This Gingerbird Sews. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and you can check out all my other videos as well. You can also follow me on Instagram at This Gingerbird. See you next time.